Hey, this is Fred from WP Shout with the next in this series of WP No Code build videos. So the site I think is getting pretty close, and so now's the time that I'm gonna point the name servers over to SiteGround, where our hosting is. So we are in our name.com account. We registered WP No Code, but we haven't really pointed it anywhere. So if you go to like wpnocode.com, right now it just gives you one of these weird park domain things. So we're going to change the name servers. And I'm also logged into like SiteGround user area. And these are the name servers, ns1 and ns2.siteground.biz. So we've only got two name servers, so it's actually fine to delete these third and fourth. Then we just go to this first one, paste in the correct name servers, and do the same with this one. And really, this is usually true. It's just ns1 and ns2. Every other part of it is the same. Name servers are basically kind of the easiest way to change DNS information. DNS information is domain name server, meaning where does the wpnocode.com domain point. So now that we have done this, we're going to apply our changes. And pretty soon, that domain is going to point to our SiteGround hosting. Now we have some stuff to do in SiteGround itself. And let's see. Would this be an add-on domain? I think it would. I don't know if we ever registered it. Let's see. Nope, never did. Okay. So wpnocode.com. And it'll live in the WP No Code folder, which is good. No, we don't want it to live in a wpnocode.com folder. We'll just let it live in the WP No Code folder. We're going to let it generate a password. And we're not really going to use this password. It's just a password for an FTP, what's called an FTP user. Doesn't really matter. We're going to add that domain. All right. So we basically said, hey, SiteGround, we own this domain, and if you want to know where to find stuff, look in the WP No Code. If you want to know where to find stuff for the domain, look in the WP No Code folder of our hosting account. But I don't think there's anything in there right now. So even if the DNS change propagates quickly, which it might propagate in the next half hour or something like that. Obviously, nothing's going to show up at the destination. There's nothing in the WP No Code folder. So what I'm going to do is I am going to look and see if here it is, WP No Code. And we want it under SSL. And I may actually have to request an SSL certificate for it, but I'm not sure yet. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. So basically it's going to have an SSL warning right when the domain switches, and I'll go back in and create an SSL certificate for it later. And we're actually just going to be migrating this thing over. So we can just let it have kind of its default description. That's fine. Okay. And since we're just going to be migrating it over, we can make the admin username be ASDF and the admin password be ASDF 4 times. Because again, this is all going to get overwritten. We can let the admin email be this non-existent email. And then, yeah, we don't need all this stuff. and let's do it. All right. So it thinks that I can just go here and get, the site, but that's not going to be true for about another hour or however long the DNS changes take to propagate. Because it's still pointed to name.com's name servers. So we're going to have to wait on that. And so we're just going to go, while we're waiting for the DNS changes to propagate. Oh, and you know what you can do? You can DNS Propagation Checker. This is a really cool thing. It's called What's My DNS, I guess. And we can go to wpnocode.com, search for it, and see where DNS propagation has and hasn't happened. So it's 146.66. Okay, so let's see. My accounts. Let me just see. Come on. Information settings. 146, 66, 69, 186. So it has propagated almost everywhere. Except supposedly in Dallas, which is actually the closest near me. And now Dallas is good, or there is no Dallas now or something. New York. Okay, so now New York doesn't know about it. So, okay, so anyway, it's propagated everywhere. So I'm gonna open an incognito window. Still not propagating for me. And this is kind of the frustrating thing about DNS propagation is there's all kinds of reasons why you don't see. In fact, the person working on the site is often the last person to see the proper version of the site. Why is that? It's because the old DNS information could be cached in my browser, but it could also be cached by my ISP, my internet service provider. So even though everybody else in the world is seeing this new address, the people who are giving me my internet connection, which in this case is Cox Communications, they have their own list of DNS records, and that list doesn't update as often as, that list is often the last thing to update. So for me to work on the new version of the site, I'm probably going to have to change internet connections. I'm going to have to stop running internet off my router and start running it off my cell phone. So I'm going to make that change, and then we'll move over to the next video.